Hello everybody and welcome back to WoW Mods. This time around we're back. It's that time of year, and today there's something a little bit different that I want to show all of you. So I was going through, after having a couple of messages asking about the Dalaran mod, I started looking at some of my older things and finding some old previous work, something that I've stopped working on years ago, and this led to finding a little, kind of little gem that I have. It's not a little gem, it's a very rough nugget. It might not actually lead to much, but it is, in fact, I had originally had an idea to start working on something called, yeah, as I was saying, to take a look at the northern region of Lordaeron that's called Northrond. Now, there's been several versions of it that I did, and I think the versions that followed were different from the one that I currently have here. But I had, in fact, made a road that actually took you from this part, or I believe it was the other side, and actually took you into this new area. Now, the final version that I had done actually had it was blanketed in snow. I decided that this was sort of like a winter area, and so that's what I decided to do, and it was pretty much developed, so it's kind of a shame that I don't have it now. But I was actually able to come up with this previous version that you're seeing here. So you'll notice this was when Nogget, when you had certain issues, it would do this whole texturing problem to the ground. You also had item duplication and other things that could potentially cause the game to crash, but this was the very first attempt at clearing up this area from what it currently looks like in the game. And I think what happened was, after I did this and I decided to make it winter, I decided to actually shrink down the dimensions of the area and the town. So I'm going to just fly and give you a very quick trip and journey through the entire landscape. And as you can see, it's a pretty big region that is kind of empty. So now we're just going to go up through this area and go into the town proper itself. It never had a name. There's a lot of things that I still didn't even know how to do in terms of like texturing. So this was very much a test ground. And I was just using no custom resources. It was just resources that are found within the game. Inspiration taken a little bit from what Stratholme looks like when you go into it. So even the layout, you know, you come in, you sort of arrive to a plaza, and immediately to your left there's a chapel. Pretty much the same way that it was in Stratholme. And, you know, then you have this sort of quarter, which would be, I guess, sort of like a religion quarter or the lights quarter or whatever. You go down towards this way as well, and as in Stratholme, there's sort of like a silver hand building. And for those of you who've seen, this idea got transplanted and is now in Hillsbrad, but the first iteration of that was that it would be in a town like this. And you can see that there is like some very primitive attempts on my end to actually try and make this into a plaza with Uther's statue there in the middle. So this never really got fleshed out, and that's mainly because I wasn't there. Like in the long time, in the long run, I saw it and it looked kind of flat and it looked kind of awkward. And this idea of sort of putting this this particular keep town thing up the hill was a bit of a mess, as you can see. Just look at all these errors and just sort of uneven terrain work. And so, yeah, this was when Nogget was not very precise, and there was tons of bugs in it, and it was just not the best at that time. I mean, this would have been considered impressive maybe at some point, but in reality, it was not really something that I cared for. I look back at it now and I see that there's some ideas that I kind of might like I kind of like the concept of having that sort of keep formation there, but I think it would have to be handled in like in a very different way. And if you go across this side, of course, you'll come right across Hearth Glen. So I'm not entirely sure what will happen. I know I eventually want to come to this area actually and develop it fully. I feel that after doing what I've done before, we worked in Coltiris, we worked we worked in Stromgard. I almost forgot about that. We did the Gilneas map. We did all of that. That I think I'm probably ready to tackle this area and actually integrate it. But I wanna get some good ideas. I think that if I really want to, I'd like this area to be sort of very old Lordaeron inspired, which means I might have to actually take a look at having its very unique styles and buildings. So we'll have to take a look and see how we can potentially achieve that. Aside from that, what else would I want to show you? I think that's it for the time being. So I hope you like this sort of very brief look into this area. It's just showing you some of the stuff that I've been doing. The holidays are underway, of course, so it becomes a little bit more difficult, specifically if you're traveling back and forth like I am for the holiday season. Thankfully, for those of you who are asking last time or wishing me a steady recovery for some issues, we're chugging along, so that's all looking great. So until next time, everybody, have happy holidays, and I will see you all later.